Hi, this is Chrissy Incognito, and welcome to another episode of my show. Now, you might be wondering why I'm incognito. This is my alter ego that can say things that I cannot otherwise say unless I was incognito. So, thank you for returning. In order to understand more about this episode, please view the previous episodes. Happy listening. So he starts revealing that their relationship is going south. It went south. He said somewhere in there, like 2, 3 weeks after they started dating, he knew something was wrong. And I would say to him, "You knew something was wrong. How about what you did was wrong? What you threw away was wrong." Like again, wouldn't say she was a mistake, wouldn't say this was a mistake, she was wrong. This was like it was again, it was a very vague thing because in the end, he wanted to keep her at all costs. He threw me away for whatever that reason is. He I think part of it, he was highly curious, but part of it and he gets these highs on new experiences, and I've heard of this before. I just never heard of this until after we broke up. So that's his like thing. So any kind of day trips or vacations or happenings, he gets really high on it, I guess. That's why he said I'm a junkie for new experiences. So he's revealing all this stuff to me. He doesn't really know he shouldn't be revealing it to me. So I get all the information. At some point, it's just going back and forth. That he had come over, and the real reason I wanted him to come over is because I wanted him to finally break down and be like, "She was the biggest mistake. I would do anything to get you back." Now, I'm saying this just because he should be saying these things does not mean I would have taken him back. Like the Lance situation, would I have loved for it to work out? Would I have loved to have put things back together? Yes, I was not going to because the two basic things, which was trust and love, were violated. And then you're just like everybody else. Like you're not my partner. So they were having a really bad time and he couldn't get out of the relationship. He couldn't get out of the upcoming marriage. It's like you had no problem throwing me away. So, and I kept saying that to him, and he never really addressed it. So I was just getting angrier and angrier. This probably took place over 6 months for when he resurfaced to what I'm going to say. So I knew he wasn't going to leave her. I knew, and the only thing that mattered, even though he was miserable, the only thing that mattered was her for whatever this represented. And that's what it was. I mean, obviously, they didn't have a good relationship. She was all messed up. She couldn't be a healthy partner. So it was more than just her. It's whatever this represented, whatever he thought he was going to have that he wasn't having, whatever it is. Because at some point I said to him, "Is it because she can give you kids and I can't?" And really, the thinking was not even that deep. Didn't even get to that level in his mind, um, because all he said was like, "I don't think so," you know? But for his parents, of course, that was a really big part. How can I be the stellar grandparent if I don't have grandkids? That's how they felt with, kids. Like, how can I be the world's greatest mother if I don't have kids, right? Because it's all about me. So, um in there, I was like, "Okay, I'm saying a lot of shit to you. I'm bashing you. I'm putting you down. I'm probably on the phone yelling, whatever." And I was like, "This is not hurting you enough." Okay, not one of my prouder moments, but that's what this channel's about is disclosing all the good, bad, and the ugly. I am pissed off. You're not saying what you should be saying, which is I will do anything to get back with you. She is the biggest mistake. Okay. I knew what was going to happen. So my thinking is if he ever said that, and I was like, come on, come on. I know you're going to say that. Just say it. So what I was going to say to him, if he did wind up saying that or something very close to it, I would have said, "You had a choice to choose me, and you didn't. I have a choice to choose you right now, and I don't." And I was gonna walk away. So that's how that was gonna play out. So, and I said to him in an email once, just because you should be saying it does not mean it's going to change my decision. I don't think he noticed that or understood what I said, but it's true. Okay. Um, so I was like, nothing I'm doing is hurting him. He was actually welcoming my calls and my emails because it was somebody other than her. And it was somebody that he, had fond memories of. So he was not getting the damage that I was trying to emotionally and verbally inflict. So I was like, and again, I'm not in my right brain. I'm still devastated by the whole thing. I'm still not eating. I'm still crying every day. At some point, I stopped eating so much that the doctor was going to put me in the hospital. The medication wasn't working. I was like 2 steps away from being hospitalized between not eating and the medication not working. It was like I was almost going to have to go into an inpatient psych unit and have them like test all of these medicines to see what was crying uncontrollably. And so I'm not necessarily in my right brain, my mindset, but I know what I'm doing. So I'm like, this isn't hurting him enough. This is not hurting him enough. Oh, I thought to myself, the only thing that matters to him is her. It doesn't matter he says he's stalling the wedding. It doesn't matter that he's saying that, he doesn't wanna hurt her. It doesn't matter that, he's feeling sorry for himself. Basically, when it comes down to it, the only thing that matters is her. Okay, I know what your kryptonite is now. So I take all the lovey-dovey emails that he has been sending me for the past 6 months. All the, "I wish I could be with you," I kind of like, "I wish I could get away from her," paraphrasing, obviously, nothing even close came to those words. But he's like, "She treats me like shit. I can't leave her because she's unstable. So I just do nothing. And I just hope she has a meltdown and she breaks it off." Okay. I'm saying all this stuff. And he's saying, "I wish I could go, back to our time and our happy place and our things." I was like, okay, I'm going to drop the bomb. So I friended her because the only way you could uh, message her was if you were friends. So I messaged her. Probably had like some benign picture on it, like of an animal or something. Well, like a young little bimbo. She accepts it because it's somebody else who's going to give me attention, right? I didn't catfish or anything. I didn't need to. So she accepts my request. And I said, because I tried to message her and it wouldn't go through unless we were friends. And so I said, "I'm Greg's ex-girlfriend. I think there's a bunch of emails that you need to read, okay?" And she's like, "Can you, um, uh, when you take a snapshot?" I still don't know how to do that on my camera, and I wasn't admitting it to some young girl bimbo. I wasn't going to say, "Well, I don't know how to." I said, "They're kind of long. Do you have an email that I can send this to you?" And she did. She had, like, probably an email that she did not, use anymore. So she sends me the email. I send her my email, and then so she responds, and I just simply cut and paste all the times and dates, and I did not even have to change anything, and I didn't change anything. I bolded and underlined some things that I really wanted her to notice, but other than that, I didn't change anything. I didn't need to. So what I noticed with this bimbo, and that's just the name I called her. So, um, if I would now she was about 20. If I was now at this point they were dating for like a year and a half and they were engaged and they were looking at homes and he was putting off the wedding, but it doesn't matter. He was still going on with the charade, okay? For a young girl who is engaged and going through the charades of having a relationship. She did not flinch when I sent her these. Most people would have been like, "Who the fuck are you? Where are you getting this?" Like, "He is mine," or whatever. Like, she was cool as a cucumber, which means she's highly manipulative. Highly. To be that composed at such a young age, and she was, like, asking me questions, non-emotional questions to get more information. I was like, "Yeah, you are very manipulative." Okay. I just that was my take on it because a normal 20-year-old, especially nowadays, in a sense, they'd be all up in arms and yelling and cursing and like, "He's mine, stay away," because he's her meal ticket. Um, Very, very composed. So the next thing I know, my house phone rings and it's him. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I just thought your fiance should really know the truth about you." I said, "I wish I knew the truth about you." He's like, "Stay away from us. I'm gonna call the cops." I said, "Call the cops?" I said, "And say what?" I said, "Well, if your love is as strong and deep as you are making it, I'm sure you're gonna weather this." And I said, "Goodbye," and I hung up on him. And it still did not cause a break. He wound up buying a house for her. Okay, he never put her name on it, but she prompted him. He would have never moved out um on his own. It just it's hard to explain, and maybe I'll go into it in another episode, but he just honestly would have never just picked up, moved his whole life into a strange house and just sat there in his living room. He would have never ever done that. So I knew it was her. She had nowhere to live. They weren't getting married anytime soon. Um, so he bought her a house. And then so they were together from 2015 to 2018. So I don't know, 3 years about. So that was like March 2018. Well, it winds up she um went on Tinder, Grinder, I don't know, whatever these things are, and met a guy um who lives in like the DC area, who's like has a really good job and is way more mature than Greg as far as like being on his own and all of that kind of stuff. And that was it. She left. She left. I like to say she left. She ran in the middle of the night and left him in a house that he didn't really want, all alone. He does not like to be alone. And I don't mean like desperate. I mean, like, and I know this about people that never lived alone before. They don't like staying alone. It's like creepy, and I've noticed that he's not the only one that has been like, "Oh, nobody's in the house. I have to go to sleep now." So he didn't want to be alone. He didn't want to be alone. And so now as far as I know, he's still in a house that he really didn't want, and he's just sitting there all alone. Yeah. So at the end of 2019, he resurfaced again. And it was something along the lines of, "I'm sorry where we left it. I was really stupid for threatening you like that and everything." And basically, he told me that they were no longer together. And so this was the end of 2019. And then COVID hit it in 2020. And and that was it, and that was really the last time I ever heard. We went back and forth just like we always did. Like, "Why didn't you love me?" "I'm giving you an answer. I did love you." It's like you're still not getting it. You're still not fucking getting it. That love, you can't do that. Just can't, okay?